All right, we are live. First off, appreciate you guys being here. It's going to be a good day today. Today's going to be full of real deep, sciencey stuff. Okay, so before I get going, make sure you have pen and paper. Get that real quick. I'll give you a second, okay, because you're going to need to write some stuff down. You're going to need to do a little bit of math, a little bit of stuff. So just be on the lookout for that. Let me pull up my stream just to make sure that it's all working how it should be and that you can see me. Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Show more in here for sure. All right. So with that being said, let's dive in. Before we get diving in, what I want to tell you about real quick, just get it out of the way, is what I'm going to do for you is if you want, I can show you the exact calculations for what you need as far as the true fat burning zone. And so that way you know where you're at, okay? Because oftentimes this fat burning zone thing seems like a real mystery. And you've kind of been misled a little bit. So I would make sense to believe that it's a mystery. But I want to make sure you get the right stuff, okay? So before we get into that, if you would like a copy of like what your true fat burning zone is, all you got to do is let me know, but you should be able to get the math down. And if you are finding this stuff and you're like, hey, this is the time for me to really take not only my fitness to the next level, but my nutrition, my mindset, to get the whole package and lose the weight, all you got to do is go to jointrailblazers.com, go on there, fill out the calendar, sign up, do your thing. It's going to be great. A lot of spots are filling up this week though. I'm booked out all the way to Wednesday already. So Thursday and Friday, or actually they're all almost booked too. So I don't know if you have time this week to make an appointment. You might be able to slip in maybe there's one spot. So anyway, with all that stuff out of the way, let's dive into how this thing works. Okay. So let's turn and talk about the phrase real quick, fat burning zone. Okay. This phrase is hitting, it's just in general kind of coming out as something cool. So the fat burning zone is on all sorts of cardio equipment. Just had a client today that we're talking about this, which kind of spurred this sort of conversation. Okay, the fat burning zone. What is that? That's the zone in which you burn the most calories from fat. Okay. Now, what do I mean by zone? Okay, we're going to go over and demonstrate a couple of these terms. Okay, zone is, oh gosh, can I make this bigger? Actually, I probably can make this whole thing a little bit. Whoa, there we go. The word zone is referred to a range in heart rate. Okay, so there is a correlation between heart rate and energy used for exercise. Okay, it's correlation. Not always causation, but a good correlation, okay? Especially when you're doing cardio, it's very, very clear, but throughout the day, not the best. Big reason why is that if you have a higher heart rate, the thought is that you're exercising, right? When I'm sitting here doing nothing, my heart rate's relatively low. It's probably, I'm just on the phone, doing a bunch of stuff. So let's say my heart rate's at, 75, right? My resting heart rate's at like 50. And so as I'm doing things, as I'm moving around, as I talk with my hands, all these things, my heart rate goes up. If I were to have my hand above me like this, my heart rate would continue to go because I got to pump blood up there. And it's a lot harder to pump blood up there when my heart's down here than it is down here, right? And so when we're talking about zones, that's what we're talking about. And the higher the heart rate, typically, the more calories you're burning, okay, which is cool. Now, the fat burning zone that is often talked about on these cardio machines is between, oh gosh, come on. Why is it not showing up my stuff? What's going on, man? Sorry, guys. Don't know what's going on here. Let's see if can I just make this smaller, maybe? Move it. Okay, whatever. I'll make my own thing over here. Okay, the fat burning zone is supposedly between 60 and 70% max heart rate. Okay. Now let's define another term. Let's see, can I make this? There we go. Zoom in now. Okay. Now let's define another term. Heart rate. or max heart rate rather. And again, hopefully you're taking notes. This is going to get crazy, but I promise you this is going to come full circle and it's going to help you a ton. Okay, max heart rate is the quote unquote highest your beats per minute will go from your heart. Easiest way to find this out, it is 220 minus your age equals max heart rate. Okay, so we're going to use somebody who's 30 years old because I'm going to be 30 this year and I'm old, it feels like. Just kidding. So 220 minus 30 means that my max heart rate, according to this, is 190. Now, if you're somebody who's not a very trained, skilled athlete, whatever, this is going to be a really good estimation of where you need to play. Okay, if you're somebody, even me, I do Spartan races. I've been a trainer for a long time. I'm athletic. I'm not a skilled athlete right now. Okay, I'm doing some stuff. I work out often. My max heart rate for sure has gone over that. So that's not my actual max heart rate. But the way to find it out otherwise requires you to know. I think it knows your body fat percentage, your resting heart rate. There's some things you got to know, basically. So this is a nice little back of napkin sort of thing, and it gets us at least in the ballpark. Okay, so 190 is my hypothetical max heart rate. Okay, now when we're saying fat burning zone, according to cardio machines and things, it's between 60 and 70%. So if we take 190, multiply it by 0.6, that gives me 114, and 0.7 gives me 133. So my fat burning zone is between 113 and 133. Okay, if you're a 30-year-old individual. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, if you follow me so far, let me know you're following me, because this is like we're getting closer towards the stuff of what we need to learn, but I want to make sure you get this part. Now, the lady I was working with today, I think she's a little bit older than I am, but she was in her fat burning zone, but in the 30 minutes, right, she went just over 1.5 miles, 30 minutes, which means she was running like a 16 or so minute mile, when this lady's been runs 5Ks, runs 3 miles, things like that. But the cardio equipment said this is a fat burning zone. So she was doing this in her fat burning zone, and it just was frustrating, right? Because it said to do this, but her calories that she actually burned were really low. What you think fat burning zone means is that it burns the most, where to go? Fat burning zone, the zone in which you burn the most calories from fat, which is true. But there's this fancy little thing here that is not added, the most calories from fat percentage-wise. Okay, percentage of fuel, not percentage per minute. And that is very, very important, because when we take percentage from fat, what it means is, let's say in a one workout, you do 100 calories while staying in the fat burning zone. Okay. And let's say you did that in 20 minutes, just so for ease of math. These numbers could be wrong. They could be way off, which is fine. Okay, that's 20-minute workout. So that means, goodness, my bad. I figured out why it's not working. Okay, so that means that in your 20-minute workout, you're burning 5 calories per minute. Sweet. And of those calories, 60% of them were coming from fat. Great. So that means you take 5, multiply it by 0.6, which magically, I believe, gives us the answer 3. 5 times 0.6. Let's make sure. Yep, the answer is 3. That means you are burning 3 calories from fat per minute. And it means the fat burning zone, because the majority of the calories that you're burning are coming from fat. Makes sense? Here's what you could do, though. We can get you, and I won't get into all the nerdy stuff I did with her, but let's say you really got to a part where you were moving at a good clip, okay? What I believe is a true quote-unquote fat burning zone kind of ranges for some people but it's between 70 and 80% max heart rate. Now, this thing correlates with something called the lactic threshold. I'm not going to get super nerdy with you, but I still want you to follow me because this is important. Okay. Say this is a graph here. Okay. There's a point in which you cannot breathe enough. Let me use this. You cannot breathe enough oxygen in order for you to supply your body with oxygen to bring stuff around the body. Okay. That's called your lactate threshold. Imagine that. Lactate threshold. Okay. Now, anything above this, way up here, you are using solely carbs as energy. You have to, because you legitimately cannot get enough oxygen to the stuff. So you can't use fat as energy. You can only use carbs. And because carbs don't require oxygen to be broken down while you're exercising as much, you can operate there. Okay, you can only operate for a little bit of time because our body does not have a lot of carbohydrates relative to fat. Okay, you and I today, regardless of what you look like and what your fitness level is, whatever, you and I could run from here to California without stopping. Okay, we have the fuel to do it without eating either. Now, we would probably die of heat exhaustion or cardiac arrest or broken bones or some sleep deprivation before we make it there. But physiologically, you have the capacity to do it if you have the motivation to run it. Okay. But what we want to do is 60% puts us down here. We want to be up here. Okay. Because check this out. You're burning 5 calories per minute here, and it's 3 calories from fat per minute, which is fine. Okay. What if, let's see if I can get the math right the first time. I'm pretty sure I can. What if up here, when we're at 70%, which puts us at 133 beats per minute to, let's see, what's my max? 190. 190 times 0.8. Well, actually, we'll call it 75. That just makes it safe. So between 133 and 145-ish, okay, if you were here, what you would actually end up doing is, instead of burning just 100 calories per minute, and there's ways you can find the equations to figure out how many calories you would burn, whatever, we're not doing that. But let's say you burn 200, because instead of going at 2 miles per hour or 2.5 miles per hour in your workout, you're running at 5. So you actually double the amount of calories you're spending for the same amount of time because you're moving twice as fast. Pretty cool. Now, instead of burning 5 calories per minute, you're actually burning 10 calories per minute. And let's say instead of 60% comes from fat sources, let's say that 40% comes from fat sources. Okay, so 40% of 10 gives us quick, easy math of 4 calories per minute. So over the entire workout, 20 minutes, you're burning 80 from fat. This one, you're burning 60 from fat. And the thing is, these numbers don't quite equate. It's actually harder to run when you're running faster, you actually expend more calories. I've seen sometimes it's like 1.5, 2 to 3 times what it is to do the same speed in the same time frame as walking as you would run, and you're burning more because your heart's moving more, right? So this is just a really modest number. So in the same amount of time, you're burning 20 calories more. Pretty freaking sweet, right? But oftentimes, when it comes to doing these things, we come across another problem, and the other problem is we just can't run fast, or we run too fast to where we can't run long enough to where this line here is really, really high, and it makes it really challenging, or this line here is really, really low, I should say, which makes it hard to stay underneath it, right? So here's some ways and things that we can do to increase your heart rate to get you to that fat burning zone without increasing speed, because speed is a part, but is not the part. Okay. So speed, whoopsie, let me scooch. Can I scooch down? Sweet. So in cardio or in things at all, speed is an option. Okay. Speed. And now speed could be done in multiple things. It could be Treadmill speed, if you're using a treadmill. It could be rowing faster, like this is the RPMs, rows per minute. It could be bicycling, which is, again, RPMs, revolutions per minute. Those things are speed. Second one is resistance. Okay. On a treadmill, this is incline, okay? Because if you have to step up, you're moving faster. You're moving your weight up as you step instead of being flat, okay? On a treadmill, incline on treadmill. On a rowing machine, it's the rower, it's the damper, right? Putting your damper to 10 makes it to where the air can't leak out the side, it can only go up. Okay. On a bicycle, it is just the tension on the bicycle. Okay. That's how you would increase the resistance. The last one, and one that is definitely not think about ever, is technique. Okay, you can do things in your technique to make something harder. So as an example, okay, on a treadmill, you could, I don't do this because I just would rather do speed or incline. And treadmill's kind of funky too. You can do like a side shuffle or walk backwards. Okay, walking backwards is a heck of a lot harder than walking forward, okay? Especially for time. Side shuffle, you just have the treadmill's going this way, but you're looking the opposite way and you're shuffling. Okay, that's one. On a rower, this would be only using legs or only using arms, or pushing with one leg more than the other one, pushing with just one leg. Works too. Okay. Another one for a bicycle. Okay, for bicycle, this would be pretty simply using one leg. Standing, sitting, leaning, things like that, right? And so each of these ways are ways to make your heart rate go up because it's harder. Let's see if I can zoom out. Nope, wrong button. Come on. Come on, there we go. It makes it harder with the speed. Yeah, that's apparent. You can run and it's a heck of a lot harder. But if running is the only thing you got in your tool belt, you're not, we got other things we can play with, right? Resistance is another one, and technique. So by you just simply just adjusting some of these things, right? Maybe if you want to get back to that true heart rate zone, which is that like 70 to 75% fat burning, to where you get like on this one, I should say, for the fat burning zone, you're somewhere around here, right? Which is in the middle, which is cool. And you are burning fat, but not at a really high rate, right? You're burning the majority of the calories from fat, but you're moving at a snail's pace. So it really isn't burning that much. Okay. But this one, if we can get you up higher to where we're up here, you're burning more per minute and you're getting more bang for your buck. Okay. That's where I like to play. How can we make it to where you're burning more, getting more calorie output if the goal is weight loss when it comes to bang for your buck and cardio? Okay. So speed's one, resistance is the other one, and then technique, right? Let's even go, there's some machines though that you're kind of throttled by, right? Stairmaster, you're throttled by what you can do. You can do speed. You really can't change the resistance because, I mean, unless you carry things. So I guess you can. I guess you can carry stuff. Wear a weighted vest when doing the Stairmaster, and that would be legitimate resistance. And then the technique would be stepping with just one leg, stepping sideways, stepping backwards. Don't do that. You would get hurt. But you can do different things, right? Make something harder. Anyway, that is this. This is exactly how you would want to get yourself to the fat burning zone, and the 3 different ways that you can utilize today to get you there without having all of them just be, hey, just freaking run. Anyways, that is it for me. If you have questions or need help, all you got to do is ask, pop them down below. Otherwise, I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a great friggin' day.